My name is Sedu Chumetse, and I am a level 100 student at the University of Ghana. So today I will basically be doing an investigation into Wi-Fi connectivity and its impact on student productivity at the University of Ghana. So this presentation is part of a mission project, a DCIT 103 mission project, which is titled quoted the On Campus Consultancy Challenge for the 2025-2026 academic year. So this presentation is titled Connecting the Campus. So for this project, I took the role of a junior campus productivity consultant to identify a raw issue affecting student life at the University of Ghana. Then I will investigate and analyze my findings, which I have done, and propose a professional solution as part of the overall team. So I will focus on campus Wi-Fi connectivity because I see it as something that affects every student on campus on a daily basis. So despite how reliable internet has become in other parts of the world and even in Ghana, poor Wi-Fi remains one of the most common frustrations among students of the University of Ghana. So in the next few minutes, I'll walk you through what the problem looks like, how I gathered my findings, what the data revealed, and the practical recommendation I am proposing to help address this challenge. Problem. So through my research, I identified four key issues with campus Wi-Fi at the University of Ghana. So the first issue is inconsistent coverage. So Wi-Fi quality, among others, is not that consistent around the campus of the University of Ghana. So some locations like the BAM Library and other academic facilities have reasonable connectivity, whilst residential areas like the halls of residence, where most students spend the majority of their time, have very poor abysmal signal. The second issue is frequent disconnections. So my survey found that students experience an average of 4.6 disconnections per day. That means roughly every hour or two, a connection drops. So this in a word form. So imagine this. Imagine you are in the middle of an academic activity or an online quiz on Sakai and the Wi-Fi just cut off. Imagine that. This is the daily reality for many students on this campus. The third issue is the financial burden. Because of the unreliability of the campus Wi-Fi, students are forced to use other alternate form of internet connectivity through mobile data from MTN, Vodafone or Teltigo or any other telecom company in Ghana. Some students reportedly spend as much as 100 cedi every month to do what? Just to stay connected. For students on tight budget, this is a money that could be spent on food, printing or other stuffs, but then they're using it to stay connected. The fourth issue is the academic impact. So 73% of the students I surveyed rated Wi-Fi problem as having a moderate to severe effect on their academic work. This is not a minor inconsistent, but an active one, holding students back from performing at their best. Such approach involved four steps. So the first one was I designed a primary survey using Google Forms, which I collected 15 responses from 15 students from level 400 to level 100 over a period of 4 days. I then asked 7 questions that are covering the most important areas in this research. So the first one was Wi-Fi signal quality to be rated on a scale of 1 to 5. Then the number of times per day the connection drops. Then the number of hours students use campus Wi-Fi daily, and how much it affects the academic impact or academic work, and as well as how much they spend on mobile data each month. I then consulted secondary sources to support my findings. So I visited the University of Ghana website and other University of Ghana affiliated websites, verified ones, and look at information from IT services about campus infrastructure. I also referred to statistics from the National Communication Authority of Ghana to understand the broader picture of internet connectivity challenges in Ghana educational institutions. I then use Microsoft Excel to clean the data that I've collected and analyze it properly. Findings during the course of the research. So I have four numbers here. The first one is 2.4 out of 5. That is the average Wi-Fi signal rating across all campus locations. So on a scale where 1 means very poor and 5 means excellent, 2.4 is clearly below average, which tells us that most students do not consider campus Wi-Fi to be adequate for their needs. The second number is 4.6, representing the average number of times students experience a Wi-Fi disconnection every single day. Think about it this way. So nearly 5 times a day, your internet connection drops while you are studying, submitting work, or attending an online session. So over the course of the week, that adds up to 30 disconnections or 30 disruptions to the student's study routine, and that's bad. The third one is 3.7 out of 5 for academic impact. This means that on average, students rated the effect of Wi-Fi problems on their studies as between moderate and severe, and that is a serious problem that deserves attention. The fourth number is 68 Ghana cedis, representing the average amount students spend every month on mobile data to compensate for the unreliable campus Wi-Fi. Some students even spend more, up to 100 cedi plus per month. So for a student, managing food, transport, printing and other costs, 68 cedi per month on data alone is significant expense that should not be necessarily imposed on the student. The average Wi-Fi signal rating broken down by location type. So as you can see, academic facilities scored highest at 3.5 out of 5, whilst halls of residence and lecture halls both scored just 2.0. So this confirms that the place where students spend most of their time, that is their halls and lecture rooms, have the worst connectivity, and that is bad. This second chart shows how much students spend on mobile data each month, depending on where they study. So students in other category and halls of residence spend the most, with some reaching up to 100 cedis monthly, and students at academic facilities spend the least at 59 Ghana cedis per month. So this pattern is clear. The worse the Wi-Fi, the more money students have to spend out of their own pocket money. This is the campus digital divide. So we are separating the best connected areas and the worst connected areas. So on the right, you see the academic facilities like BAM Library and the UGCS Computer Lab enjoys a signal rating of 3.5 and fewer disconnection and a lower data cost. On the right, halls of residence tells a very different story, with a signal rating of just 2.0 out of 5 and 5.0 disconnections per day, as well as 69 Ghana cedis spend on mobile data each month, and with the highest academic impact of 4.25 out of 5. So clearly, students living in halls are at disadvantage compared to those who can spend their study time in the library or computer lab. Hence, I have 4 recommendations. So the first one is to upgrade Wi-Fi in halls of residence. This is by installing new access points, and it's actually a top priority since halls of residence score the West and have the most students. And the second one is to deploy a live dashboard so that students and IT staffs can monitor Wi-Fi quality across campus in real time. The third one is to add more access points in lecture halls to handle the heavy demand during peak hours. And the fourth one is to create student feedback channel, a simple online form where students can report Wi-Fi issues directly to IT services for faster response and solutions. This recommendation in reality, I propose a 5-phase plan that can be completed within one academic semester. So from week 1 to week 2, I propose that we should conduct a site audit to map all the Wi-Fi dead zones in halls of residence. Then in week 3, we procure the necessary equipment, that is access point, cabling and switches. Then in week 4, week 4 to week 6, we install the new access point, starting with the worst affected halls. Then in week 7 to week 8, we run a speed and reliability test to make sure the upgrades are actually working. And from week 9 onwards, we launch the monitoring dashboard and student feedback channel for continuous improvement. All of this matter. So better Wi-Fi means fewer disruptions to the academic experience of thousands of students every day. It also reduces the inequality between students who can afford backup data and those who cannot. It as well as helps the university get full value from the digital platform it has already invested in, like the Sakai. And it also positions the University of Ghana as a leader in campus data infrastructure among universities in Ghana. This investigation has shown that campus Wi-Fi at the University of Ghana is not serving students equally. So halls of residents are the worst affected, and students are paying the price, both academically and financially. The solutions that I have presented is achievable: phased infrastructure upgrades, a live monitoring tool, and a student feedback channels. Improving campus Wi-Fi is not just a technical fix, it is a direct investment in students' success. Thank you all for your time.